Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Friedman in the studio, and my next guest up is Swati Bhoumick, Swati of Ideaswalla. Welcome.
Thank you, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you in Radio Entrepreneurs. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about your company?
Sure. So Ideaswalla is a marketing agency focused on providing services to startups using the same tools, technology, knowledge and skills that typically big brands employ, but which startups don't have access to. The term Ideaswalla means provider of ideas, and that's exactly what we want to be to our clients, a provider of fresh ideas that will help meet their business needs profitably. So we do marketing strategy, we do website creation, optimization, creating content, so blogs, white papers, case studies, testimonials, and optimizing your website to basically capture leads and doing the best that you can to tell your story out there, essentially.
Now, is most of what you're doing today, and it may be a silly question, but most of it is digital in nature, digital assets predominantly?
It is essentially digital in nature, yes. That's where marketing has been heading for a while now.
So you mentioned before we came on the air that the company is about 8 months old.
Yes.
And so why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what the genesis of the idea was, and do you have a marketing background? Were you a marketer in a former life?
Yes. So I spent, just about a decade in corporate marketing with brands like Citibank, Prudential, and I came to realize that I wanted to execute my own vision and not be restricted by someone else's corporate vision. And typically, that meant seeing marketing as an expense, not as an investment. And there was so much happening in the world of marketing. It's just so dynamic with new tools and new technology coming up, which I really wanted to dip my feet into. But again, you can't do that. And at the same time, more and more of my friends from school and from college were turning into entrepreneurs. And in speaking to them, I realized that there was this real need for marketing help, which they could not afford with expensive agencies, or they didn't have those skill sets internally. So that's how Ideaswalla was born at the end of 2015.
Excellent. So how do you, as an entrepreneur and as a small business today, hopefully one that's growing, provide that range of services? Because some of it is obviously specialized expertise. Do you have a cadre of either contractors that you work with, or different skill sets, or are you really a broad marketer? Because you said you had corporate marketing experience, and traditionally, at least, people in corporate marketing experience are quite siloed, if you will. They don't offer the whole broad range of marketing services. So.
Yeah, so I do work with a few people with essentially web developers and designers, and I'm soon bringing on board another content writer. But over my years of marketing, I have picked up a lot of those range of those skills. I'm inbound certified by HubSpot. I've done a course in digital marketing from Harvard Extension School. I also have an MBA in marketing from one of the top institutes in India. So the strategy, the thought, the writing is all mine, but definitely there's a set of people who also help me provide these services.
Well, it's really fascinating, and I think, as you stated earlier, technology has allowed things that were once only accessible to large corporations to be available to startups and entrepreneurs as well. And
exactly, and I would say that those startups need those tools more, probably than the big brands. It helps them be agile, and it helps them scale up really quickly, and get a measure of their audience and how to reach out to them, and how to validate their concepts. So I would say that every dollar that you spend in marketing as a startup, you probably get 3 times the return, because not only are you getting very critical feedback, but you're also building those channels to reach out to your audience, and building those distribution paths. And at the same time, you're also reaching out to potential partners and employees by telling them about your story.